The Mystics were moving the 2 games that were coming to their town with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They were moving them to Baltimore. I'm just going to point it out for all of you. This is Angel Reese's home stomping grounds, by the way. So moving to Baltimore.
This isn't just a venue change. It's a statement. The Washington Mystics shifting their Fever matchups to Baltimore, Angel Reese's hometown, feels like the ultimate plot twist in the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese saga. Sure, the move is a clear cash grab. Clark's star power is undeniable, but Reese fans are already fired up. The real question? Why Baltimore instead of Capital One Arena in D.C., where big games were held last season? Did the Mystics just hand Reese a hometown hero moment? Or did they set her up for the ultimate pressure test in front of her own city? Either way, this move just poured gasoline on an already heated WNBA rivalry. Buckle up. This season is about to-be must-watch drama.
They're going to say, see ya there. Now, the Indiana Fever stated, venue change. Our regular season game on May the 28th. On September 7th at the Washington Mystics are moving to CFG Arena in Baltimore, bruh. So as y'all can see here, say game location change, CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. CFG Bank Arena, Baltimore, Maryland. Somebody said, could it be the Mystic owner doesn't want the Caitlin Clark shine to be seen again?
Angel Reese's fans are losing it, and honestly, you can't help but laugh. Caitlin Clark isn't just stepping into Reese's backyard. She's taking over. The Fever will play twice in Baltimore this season, and the meltdown from Reese's supporters is already in full swing. But let's be real. This isn't about Reese. This is the Caitlin Clark effect on full display. The WNBA has never seen a player command this level of attention this fast. And when Clark rolls into Baltimore, expect packed arenas, skyrocketing ticket prices, and a whole lot of people pretending it's not because of her.
Straight from the NBA website, man. Indiana Fever 2025 road games at Mystics moved to Baltimore. So Angel, man, I mean, listen, y'all made a big deal 2 weeks ago about a Caitlin Clark billboard being put up in Chicago, the Windy City, the 3rd largest city in the country. Of course, they're gonna have Caitlin Clark billboards. What are y'all gonna do about this? Baltimore, be more careful. 2 games. Oh my God.
Chicago fans already got a front row seat to the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. When she came to town, the game was electric, the arena was packed, and the energy was off the charts. But let's be real, fans weren't there to watch Angel Reese clank jump shots and throw tantrums. They came for the real spectacle. Caitlin Clark putting on a show and proving why she's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA in years. The league has been waiting for a player like Clark, someone who draws massive crowds and creates genuine excitement. And no, that doesn't come from Reese's over-the-top celebrations after another mid-tier performance.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
Now, Sky fans, who have somehow convinced themselves that Angel Reese is the future of the league, are scrambling every time Caitlin Clark steps into their city. It's an undeniable reality check. Reese's supporters have spent months hyping her up as the next big thing. But here's the brutal truth. You can't be the face of the league if nobody outside your bubble cares. The only time Reese is trending? When she's complaining, missing wide-open layups, or stirring up petty drama. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is rewriting record books, selling out arenas, and bringing an entirely new wave of fans to the WNBA Next Voice. Next Voice rival teams are finally saying the quiet part out loud. what the rest of us already knew. The WNBA is booming, and Caitlin Clark is the reason why. Before she arrived, the league fought for attention. Now, sold-out arenas, record-breaking TV ratings, and every franchise scrambling to ride the wave. Let's be honest, it's not happening because Angel Reese puts up a double-double here and there. It's happening because Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent who turns every game into must-see TV.
There's a very thin line between hate and facts, and what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means...
Chicago fans are holding on to a fantasy, trying to sell the idea that Angel Reese is on Caitlin Clark's level. But let's be real. Clark is pulling up from the logo with ease, threading jaw-dropping passes, and delivering must-see highlights every single night. Meanwhile, Reese plays with hustle, no doubt. But there's a big difference between being an energy player and being a true superstar. The WNBA is a business, and when it comes to selling tickets, jerseys, and TV ratings, the answer couldn't be clearer. It's not the player flexing over a routine free throw, it's the one redefining the game.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
It's not just the fans having a hard time accepting reality. The Chicago Sky organization is in a tough spot too. They have to market Angel Reese as their star, but every time Caitlin Clark comes to town, she steals the show. The sold-out arenas, the jersey sales, the viral moments. It's all Clark, all the time. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are scrambling for ways to spin the narrative, claiming she's great for the culture. But let's be real, culture alone doesn't keep the lights on. In the WNBA, star power translates to business, and Clark is the one bringing in the numbers.
Jeez. Man. Yeah, I was mad about that billboard a couple of weeks ago. The Reese's Pieces were. I mean, I just... This is going to annoy Angel. I know it is. And I know that they had to because the MCI Center, whatever, Verizon Center is under renovation. But still.
You know what really matters? Viewership and revenue. And Caitlin Clark is delivering both like no one else. WNBA teams are catching on fast. They see what she's doing for Indiana and want in on the action. This league has never been in the national spotlight like this before, and let's be honest. It's not because Angel Reese is grabbing rebounds. Clark's mere presence turns regular season matchups into primetime must-watch events. She's transforming casual viewers into die-hard fans, while Reese's supporters are left facing a harsh truth. Their favorite isn't the main attraction.
Yeah, let me tell you about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark has brought so many eyes to women's basketball that it's amazing. A dude named Acho, I forgot his first name, is something Acho.
Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah. He showed how in 5 days before the draft, she made the WNBA more money than they would have made in the next 5 years without.
And let's talk about the excuses because, oh boy, there's always a new one when Reese struggles. First, she's too young. Then, she just needs more time. Now, it's that she's still adjusting. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is getting triple-teamed, hacked on every possession, and still putting up elite numbers. Funny how one player gets endless justifications while the other simply proves, night after night, why she's the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA in years.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Reese's fans are spiraling. And honestly, It's hilarious. They're shouting, why? Why isn't Angel getting the same treatment? Why aren't teams bending over backward for her too? Simple answer. She's not Caitlin Clark. Clark is selling out 10,000-seat arenas in minutes. Every city she steps into becomes the hottest ticket in town. The Fever's ticket sales are skyrocketing, and opposing teams are literally moving games to bigger venues just to handle the demand. Meanwhile, Reese's fans are left looking around wondering, where's our sold-out stadium?
Preseason game, Brazil versus the preseason game against the Brazilian national team, sold out in 36 minutes, 15,000 fans. There's tickets for that game upwards of $4,500.
Let's be real. Nobody's rearranging schedules or booking bigger venues for Angel Reese. The demand just isn't there. We've already seen what happens when Caitlin Clark isn't in the picture. The buzz fades, and the energy isn't the same. Reese's supporters keep waiting for the world to crown her as the face of the league. But here's the truth. Superstardom isn't given. It's earned. Clark's impact is undeniable. She's driving ticket sales, boosting TV ratings, and making every game feel like a marquee event. Meanwhile, Reese is making noise. But fans aren't lining up in droves to watch her play. They're not forcing teams to upgrade arenas just for the chance to see her in action. That's the real gap. The difference between being talked about and being the reason everyone is watching.
I mean, all over. I mean, a lot of these tickets are crazy. But I'm just like, it's not even about the price for me. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm comparing the Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky, because they said that it was like Me Too. Like, you guys are watching women's basketball because of Me Too. I mean, bro, everybody could get into this. Like, literally everybody could get into this game.
Sheila Johnson, owner of the Washington Mystics, really thought she was making a bold statement with her speech about Caitlin Clark. She stood there preaching about how the media should spread the attention around, insisting the league shouldn't revolve around Clark, acting like she was the voice for underappreciated WNBA stars. Fast forward a few weeks, and guess what? Her team is moving games to a bigger arena. And why? Because of Caitlin Clark. So let's get this straight. When it fits the agenda, Clark is just another player, nothing too special. But the moment ticket sales start pouring in, suddenly, she's the biggest thing to ever happen to the Mystics. The contradiction is wild. If this was really about boosting all WNBA players, why weren't they moving venues before?
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Why weren't they selling out games before? Oh, that's right. Because Angel Reese and the rest weren't drawing these kinds of crowds. Sheila, one moment you're calling for the spotlight to be shared, and the next, you're cashing in on Caitlin Clark like you just won the lottery. The double standard is impossible to ignore. If the WNBA got paid every time someone dismissed Clark while secretly profiting from her, the league's revenue would rival the NBA's by now. The pattern is clear. Downplay her impact in public, but when it's time to fill seats and boost ratings, she's the first name on the marquee. The same people who once questioned her hype are now reshaping their entire strategy just to capitalize on it.
So the Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting. I honestly can't wait until the season's back in so we can get more about basketball talk. But back to this.
So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said, the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have? Because when you just keep singling out one player, it creates hard feelings.
So let's call it what it is, Sheila. You're not fooling anybody. You can preach all you want about spreading attention to other players, but at the end of the day, you know exactly who the real draw is. That's why your team is relocating games. That's why you're riding this revenue wave. Caitlin Clark isn't just a trending topic, she's the future. You can deny it all you want, but don't stop cashing those checks while you do. Her impact is so massive that she just sold out her first Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil in less than an hour. Meanwhile, some people are still scratching their heads, wondering why she gets all the attention. Do they need a full PowerPoint presentation? This isn't complicated. Clark is a generational talent, and the demand for her is off the charts. Fans didn't just buy tickets, they crashed the ticketing system. Meanwhile, other WNBA players are practically begging people to show up to their games, like they're handing out free barbecue in the neighborhood.
But I've got a theory that Sheila Johnson is trying to do two things here. Number one, she's trying to screw Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans. 6,000 less tickets available. Number two, while lining her pockets even more. Now, you might be like, well, Rhodes, I don't get it. Well, it's simple. Less tickets means the gate prices, all right? The gate prices for the game will actually go up. In other words, just like that preseason game, they has got tickets for $4,500. A run-of-the-mill game like this, even we all know Caitlin Clark tickets are expensive.
And let's be real. Nobody is louder in their delusion than Angel Reese's fan base. They actually believe she deserves the same reaction as Caitlin Clark. That's like expecting a local garage band to sell out Madison Square Garden. Clark has people who never watched a second of women's basketball before suddenly tracking every Fever game, every stat, every record she's breaking. Reese? Not so much.